Yeah, I got a show for y'all.
He looking good, man. Look like he made a full recovery.
Yeah. That's a big hoodie, though.
He got a small head.
He ain't got a small, he just got a huge torso.
That's like an 8X hoodie. But this guy went on his podcast, and this sounds like to me he admitted defeat in Pennsylvania already.
Really?
Yeah, check this out.
You've said that Trump has a special connection with the people of
100%.
Pennsylvania. Why? What is it that you see that he appeals to in your state?
There's a difference between not understanding, but also acknowledging that it exists. And anybody spends time driving around and you can see the intensity. It's astonishing. I was doing an event in Indiana County, very, very red, and there was a superstore of Trump stuff, and it was 100 feet long, and it was dozens of T-shirts and hats and bumper stickers and all kinds of, I mean, it's like, where does this all come from? I mean, it was almost like Taylor Swift kind of swag. It's like of everything. It wasn't just a sign. It's the kinds of thing that has taken on its own life on that. And it's like something very special exists there. And that doesn't mean that I admire it. It's just like, it's real. And now you have, Musk is now joining him. I mean, to a lot of people, I mean, that's like, hey, that's Tony Stark. And that's the world's richest guy. And he's obviously and undeniably, he's a brilliant guy. And he's saying, hey, that's my guy for president. That's going to really matter. You know, I'll never forget. I live directly across the street from the steel mill. And we were doing an event there for Clinton. And I asked the union president, I'm like, hey, where we are on Trump? And he's like, yeah, probably half or 60%, two-thirds are voting for him. And I was like, oh, that sucks. And then immediately there was a guy getting off, and he had a truck, and he had truck nuts on it. Do you know what truck nuts are?
Do I look like I know what truck nuts are?
Yeah, it's balls hung on the hitch of a truck. And he honked and he was like, go Trump, as he drove by. And it's like, hey, we're in trouble.
It sounds like to me he admitted defeat.
Yeah.
It sounds like he knows they're going to lose Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. That dude asked her if you know what truck nuts are. I would tell you the truth, I didn't know what truck nuts are. Shut up. I think we taking Pennsylvania. I hope so, man. I feel it in my bones, man. I think we're gonna, man. I was looking at some polls, man. The Senate, we can really take over the Senate this election. There's a lot of seats that Democrats have won, but they won them by slim margins, and we're in a real good position to take like 8 seats in the Senate. In the Senate, 8 seats.
Yeah.
You smoking crack. We ain't taking no 8 seats in the Senate. Well, here's the video.
Let's take a look at the battle for the Senate, and wow, do the Democrats have a challenge here. Right now, they, of course, control the Senate by a whisker, however. And here's the basic problem for Democrats. What you're looking at here, these are all the different states that have Senate elections this year. And the way each party's kind of looking at it is these are pretty much safely assumed to be Democratic seats that are going to be won by the Democrats. That's why they're in that column. And these are largely seen as likely to be Republican seats. And this is the battleground. This is where we just don't know. These are the ones that are going to decide the Senate. Well, look, you see 8 states here. Every single one of these 8 states is a Democratic-held seat right now. So the Democrats are entirely on defense in the battleground. The Republicans are entirely on offense. And look at the starting point for Republicans then. You know, they come into this kind of already having likely 49 seats, the Democrats with 43, because so many of theirs are in the battleground. So from the Republican standpoint, to get control of the Senate, I mean, look, West Virginia, Joe Manchin, the Democrat, is retiring. This is a state Trump won by 40 points. Nobody, even Democrats, think Democrats have a chance here. So move that one into the Republican category. And look, that's 50. If Donald Trump wins the presidency and the Senate's 50-50, Trump's vice president, J.D. Vance, breaks the tie. Republicans control the Senate. That might be all it takes for Republicans, even if Democrats win all of these. But also Democrats are very exposed in Montana. John Tester, incumbent Democrat, but this is a state Trump won by 20 points. That's a very tough lift to get people, that many Trump voters, to turn around and vote for Tester. So if that one goes, if just West Virginia and Montana go, there's 51 for the Republicans. And I mean, look, you could just see if Democrats were to win all of these other states, I'm just putting them all in the Democratic column. Look how much I just gave them. They're short, 51-49. So at that point, is it game over? Probably. Or the question would be, can the Democrats pull a rabbit out of the hat? And the one they talk about is Texas. That's Ted Cruz running for re-election, Colin Allred, the Democrat. The polling there has had generally Cruz ahead, but, you know, within 5 points in some of these polls here. It's a stretch for Democrats to actually win Texas. They seem to talk about it every election and always fall short. But if, just sake of argument here, they were to pull that rabbit out of the hat and do it in Texas. So see, now I've moved it over there. Now you would get a 50-50 Senate. And now if Harris were winning the presidency in this scenario, Democrats would get the Senate that way. The other possibility, though, if Texas doesn't go, so let's put it back in the Republican category.
Yeah, put it back.
Nebraska. Nebraska is interesting because there's no Democrat running. It's a Republican incumbent, Deb Fischer. There's an independent candidate, Dan Osborne. The polling has shown that he's doing surprisingly well. Republicans are getting nervous. They're spending money here. Is there a chance that Dan Osborne, the independent, beats Republican Deb Fischer? If that were to happen, take it out of the Republican category. You see in our scenario here, knocks him down to 50. But don't put it over in the Democratic column automatically, because Osborne says if he wins, he will not caucus with the Democrats. Now, Democrats hope if he wins, he changes his mind, but if he doesn't, so if he wins, and this is what the Senate looked like, 50 Republican seats, 49 Democratic seats, and 1 senator not voting for either party, well, you could see Republicans would still win the Senate in this scenario. So the key for Republicans, if Deb Fischer were to lose that race, they're probably okay if she loses that race, as long as Osborne doesn't turn around and caucus with the Democrats. If he does what he says in the campaign and stays independent, Republicans probably...
He's being generous because he's on that network, but you saw these races in Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, Nevada. We got a lot of momentum. We can win a lot of seats, Senate seats.
Red wave coming, huh?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, we're in a good position. Very good position. Trump's got a lot of momentum. It would make sense that we'll win these seats and they'll flip red.
Yeah. We're taking our country back.